Alright, so this is my Craftsman M230 push mower, and we are going to replace the carburetor. So like I said, this is my Craftsman M230 lawnmower, and it's gotten to where it's surging at high speed, and then it's hard to start when it's hot. And I've pulled this carburetor off and cleaned it out. It may have helped slightly, but it's still running bad. And these carburetors are plastic or some kind of composite something, and in my experience, after a while the heat kind of gets to them, and then they just don't run the best. So we've got a replacement from Amazon. It was under $20, so we're gonna replace it. This one had good reviews. I just picked the one that had the most reviews and the best reviews. Typically that's what I try to do if I'm looking for one. So we're gonna take the air cleaner off and pull the filter off and ignore this. This is a fuel vent for the carburetor, or for the gas tank. For whatever reason, these things tend to, what I've read, some people claim it's a bad gas cap, some people say it's a bad tank, but you get them full and they'll dribble fuel. So I just put a little tie wrapped a rag on there where it's able to vent, but it'll absorb some of that gas and then dry out without spilling it on the air filter. So we've got 4 bolts that hold this on. Bottom is 7mm, so we're going to go ahead and take those off. I guess technically you can do it in any order maybe, but we're just going to start with the bottom. Top is 8mm. And we're going to pull this off. And there's a crankcase vent hose, PCV or something, that connects to the back. So right here, you see this guy? Try to get that. So you can just reach back and kind of hold onto that hose as you wiggle this off, and it'll come right off. Alright, so here's our carburetor. We've got the fuel line and our linkage for our choke and for our governor linkage. And we've also got, well, I guess that's it. Yeah, 2 linkages and the fuel line. So a little better view. So I like to take some pliers, some vice grips, and just put on the fuel line. Pinch the fuel line off, and then I'm just going to take, there's just a spring clamp on here. We're going to take and just work that clamp backwards, and that should be good there. I'm not going to worry about pulling that off until we start sliding the carburetor off, which I think we're about ready to do. Now, there is nothing else that holds the carburetor on there. If we look at our new one, it pushes into, I guess, a little intake manifold that's bolted to the engine. So it's just a slip fit. Those 4 screws, 2 into the carburetor and 2 into this bracket that held on the air cleaner housing, that's what keeps the carburetor from falling off, basically. So our next step is to just wiggle this thing and it will slide right off. And it did. And at the same time, I'm going to try to wiggle our fuel line off. Well, maybe we'll tilt it and get these linkages off first. So I'm going to tilt it back. That will allow us to slip the choke linkage off. And then we're going to have to tilt it to the side to get the throttle linkage off, but I'm going to have to get that fuel line off first. I'm going to use a screwdriver to help start that fuel line coming off. Actually, let's do this. We're going to slip this back a little bit further, pinch it again. I don't think our clamp is quite far back enough. And just have your new carburetor ready, because if this thing starts pouring gas out, we're going to slip this new one on real quick, because we may not be pinching it off good enough to stop all the fuel flow. Now, let's pull it out and we can okay. We've started to pull the hose off. Screwdriver's not working very good, but there we go. And no fuel coming out. So good job on our vice grips. Not even a drip. Now we may get some pouring out when we tilt this to get the throttle linkage off. Oh. There we go. Hopefully you could see how I did that. In reverse order, if we look at our old one though, well, it just dumped fuel out now. The gasket right there is on the carburetor, or not, it's on the carburetor of our new one. There's an O-ring and then this plastic one. So we're gonna take that, and I should have brought a rag out here, and I did not. So I'm just gonna take what this was wrapped in and just use that to help clean that off. And finger's working better. It's just not really hurting anything because that's past where we seal up, but just for the heck of it, we are gonna knock that off. Okay. Get our choke linkage out. Just put it over there out of the way. And we are going to check to make sure everything's lined up. Now, this choke goes on this side. I don't really like that. It kind of, yeah, I guess it works. It goes on this side, like that. But let's slip the throttle linkage in. And then we're gonna, might as well start our fuel line while we've got it out. And then we'll shove this on. We'll take our clamp off, and hose is a tight enough fit. I wasn't really worried about it leaking. Got it clamped. And then we're gonna slide this back over. I guess we could have put our choke linkage on first. That was probably a mistake. There. There we go. And now we're going to slip it back on. So do the choke linkage before you slide it on the intake. There we go. It's kind of, there we go. It's kind of rubbing. It's got a little heat shield in there. It was kind of rubbing. It's in good shape now. So that's how it should be. The engine's cold. It's unchoked. As this thing warms up, this thing stretches and takes the choke off. Alright, gasket's in place here. We're going to guide the air filter housing back on. As we do that, it has, you know, guide the PCV on, and it's got two little nubs that go into those. PCV is started, and I like to go ahead and just start all of these. Since the ones in the carburetor kind of have to thread themselves in, we're going to really get them started first. Minimum amount of torque on these. That's it. Quick and easy job. Like I said, I had this one apart, cleaned it out. It was actually clean inside. Made no difference in the way it ran. So I'm hoping now that we've got this new carburetor on that we will see an improvement in our high speed running and hot restarts. That was our issues. Surging at high speed and not wanting to start when it's hot. I'll let y'all know how it does. It's running good. That fixed our issue. So that's going to do it for this video. I've mowed the yard a few times and carburetor is performing flawless, no issues. Fixed the hot starts,
and the surging, and it overall seems to have more power cutting through tall grass. You know, I think that surging was causing issues. So I'll put a link in the description to it if you want to pick one up, if you need one. Pretty easy replacement and pretty cheap. Get some more life out of your lawnmower. Thanks for watching. Leave a comment down below, hit the like button, and subscribe for more.